Hey guys, welcome back to the next session of VFX. Today we are going to do something interesting. I'm going to start off with making something in Adobe Photoshop because Adobe Photoshop and Adobe After Effects are from the same company. It has its own compatibility. Okay, so the compatibility here is, you have some features which can be directly imported to After Effects from Adobe Photoshop. So what I would like to do here is I'll make a custom 1080p and I'll create a file, and I have some files taken for this exercise. So the files are here. Okay, I have some files here, and let me take a background and drop it here. Oh, this looks so small, isn't it? Okay, let's do something. We'll crop it. So we'll just crop it to this size, and we'll start. So we'll keep this as a backdrop, and you can see this is not rasterized. So just right click and rasterize the layer. So this is the backdrop, and okay, this is enough for us. And what I'll do is I'll take another image. Yes, this one, and I'll rasterize this. Press Ctrl T, scale it. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, place this boy on top of the floor. I'll reduce the opacity and see how it looks. You see, if he places here, okay, so to that size you will have to scale. For that, first I'll increase the opacity and remove all the other parts here. This can be done in many ways, and so to make it more clear, what I'll do is I'll open this as a separate file, and I'll do it. So I'll delete this. I'll open a separate file, and in the separate file I'll start editing this so that the clarity is high. You can see it has good clarity here. Okay, this much clarity is enough, and oh, you need to see the shortcuts. I'll do something. I'll activate the shortcuts. Yeah, you can see the shortcuts that I'm using. Press P for pen tool. You get the pen tool, and you start drawing around to extract the boy from the image. You'll have to do this slowly. I'm doing it a little quickly to complete the task. You can zoom to the maximum, and then you can see the edges and do it perfectly. The curves are important here. Keep doing this. Find the right place to end your pen tool. Control Z for undo as usual. because the foot is going to land on the other image that we see here. You need to concentrate on the foot area. Don't go too much closer. We can give some feathering and then adjust it. You need to have patience when you are doing something with the pen tool, because there are times where you have to do rotoscopy for frame by frame. This is how it has to be done. So don't be in a hurry. After practicing this, I would like everyone to capture your own photograph and then do something similar to this. If you get the curves better, your output will look better. If the curves become sharp edges, your output will not look good. So concentrate on the curves. Especially when it comes to the body parts, you have to be very careful. We are almost done now. Let's see. All right. So we have a path here. Go to the paths, control, click the path. This is in the background layer. You can press Shift F6 for feather. You can give a feather radius of about 1.5 and press Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Now you have the boy separately here. Okay, I'll just save this as a PSD file here, because in future if I want I can take this. So now drag and drop him here, press Ctrl T, then you can adjust accordingly. You have to look at the ratio. Ratio is very important here. Maybe I'll keep him here. Yes, like this. So this is one image. I'll press Ctrl Shift S, save it as JPEG. Okay, and say this is pick one. Save 12 size. Okay, now here I'll hide the background and I will take this background and put it. Ctrl T, place it wherever I want, bring this down. So now the boy is standing here. Okay, probably I'll make him stand here. There are some shadows here, isn't it? So see, for example, here In between the hands there are some gap. You have to delete that also. Okay, I'll just show you the method. See, I told you Photoshop and After Effects are from the same company. So this and that has some interconnectivity. I'll show you what that is. Okay, so before that I'll move him here, scale him down, 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 and place him like this. Okay, now this Photoshop file I'll save as edit, save. Now if I open After Effects, now we can import files in After Effects. This time what we are going to do is we are going to import Photoshop file and the JPEG file that you actually see. You have saved already the JPEG file. So I'm going to import both and show you the difference. So I'll open a new project. Inside the new project, I will import the Photoshop file. What is the name of the Photoshop file? We have named it as edit.pst. So when I double click this, it will ask you composition, retain layer sizes, okay, editable layers, give OK. So this is already there, okay, this edit. When I double click this, you see I get all the layers in the Photoshop. The ship deck background is not required for us at the moment. I'll delete both. So now this is like a Photoshop layer. You can see the boy is separate, the background is separate. So whatever names that you give, suppose in Photoshop, if you are giving names for this, okay, say boy and BG, save, Control S, and you come back to After Effects. So this is the edit file, okay, that we imported, isn't it? So you can either rename them here, or say for example, if I just delete all these and import file and choose this edit, retain layer size, editable layers, okay. Now double click this. Now you see boy and BG. I've got the names that I gave there. So whatever names that you wanted for the layers in Photoshop, you name that and you bring it to After Effects. Okay, I have this here, and this is the background and this is the boy. Okay, so now what we are going to look at is, I'll just create a new camera. Okay, this is going to be the camera. This is the focal length of the camera. You can see the focal length can be adjusted. When you adjust the focal length, the angle of view changes. Okay, so I'll make it as 70 mm, give OK. Okay, so you have to convert this to 3D layers. Okay, say for example here, these options might be looking different for you here. Okay, so if you press F4 function keys, okay, F4, I'm pressing again, okay, it will toggle. Now you see this is 3D. Okay, so I'll make this a 3D layer, because when it is 3D only I can do something with the camera. Okay, and this camera, if you see, you have you know, all these options here. For the camera also you have camera options. Okay, the zoom, the depth of field. You see, when I zoom the camera, I go closer to the boy. Okay, and here you can see the quality is decreasing. Okay, so to bring up the quality, you can see this has to be, you know, the straight line. This is how you look through the camera. Okay, with the camera you can adjust, whatever levels that you want, the blur level. Okay, the zoom in, zoom out. So this is like you are seeing through the camera that has been placed in the composition. Okay, so you can see the transformation for the camera is also there, the left, right, and so on, that you can do. Okay, now comes, the other stuff that we have done. Okay, I'll import the other photo. Okay, before that I have some of the PNG items here. This one, circle of seagulls, seagull, seagull, and seagulls.png. I'll import all this. Okay, so one by one we will take and put it inside. Circle of seagulls, I'm placing it here. Okay, and if I press S, it's the scaling. You can see I can scale it, and I can move. If I press T, it is opacity. If I press P, it is position. So I can reposition this, and if I press Control D, it is duplicate. Control D. Again, I'll duplicate and place it here. Okay. So this boy and this layers, you have to be very careful. I'm going to take another one here. You see, this is one of the seagulls. I'm taking it and placing it here. Now I press S for scaling. I adjust the scale. I place it here like this on top of the boy. Then again seagull 2, I'll press the position, P for position, move this, take this up, and what else we have? Seagulls.png is also there. Okay, I take this position, P, move this, scaling, S, you can scale, and you reposition accordingly. Okay, so now the positioning has been done and the layering is also done, you can see. Okay, so here if you want to make any sort of animations, you can slowly give the movements for all the layers that you have here. Okay, say for example, if my scaling is in this size here, and in about 20 seconds slowly, if I wanted to increase the scaling, I can slowly increase. So there will be a slow movement here. You can see the birds are slowly moving, and it's the same for all the other ones. So I'll just press scale, circular, let it be there, and this one scale, and in 20 seconds what happens here, we are increasing this, we are increasing this, and we are increasing this. So slowly you can see that There is a slight movement happening here, different movements. This can be done like this, or you can go to the camera, click on the zoom option, and see while this is zooming, you can also zoom the camera. Now you see with the movement it is going close to the boy. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to import the first image that we did, picture 1. Okay, and place it on top like this, and I press T for opacity. I reduce the opacity, and I'll match this and this together. Okay, so open this up, transform, position, make it up, down, bring it so close to each other so that it overlaps and looks the same. You can see it looks almost the same. Okay, place it like this, and now go to the opacity and check how it looks. Okay, we'll just work with this size now, and there are different transitions that can be applied for any work that you do. You can see there are presets here. There are so many presets. Okay, and inside the presets you have transitions as well. Each transition has its own meaning, and it acts, accordingly. So what kind of transition you are going to apply is, important. Sometimes if you know the name of the transition, you can straight away type here, say I want a gradient wipe. I'll take this gradient wipe, okay, and apply to this picture 1. Okay, you can see the gradient wipe is visible here. Okay, and I will check out how this gradient wipe works. Okay, so I'll switch on the transition here, and in about 8 seconds slowly my transition starts working. See here, I'm just wiping off with the gradient to 100%. Okay, and transition softness also, I'll just switch this off, and you see how soft the transition has to happen. I'll give the softness here. Alright, now come back. Forget about this additional size, just look at the screen from here. So when it is playing with the transition, the boy is of the same size, going to another location easily. Okay, so like this you can make any number of attempts with your own photograph. Only then the project will look interesting. You can shoot your own pic. Okay, you can seek your friend's help, ask somebody to shoot your own picture, and then you can compose it like this. You see, we're playing it again. Even in the background, if there's something stagnant here, these circle ones also can be moved. You can just make some position animation for this, isn't it? For the circle. One, two, one, two, three, four. Yeah. So slight movement you can give, and for this you can give again slight movement. Now check this out. And we see that the camera zoom is also working. Okay, now to avoid uh, this extra area that is visible here, you can, you know, play with the camera's zoom level as well. Sorry. Okay, this is not linked. If you just drag and drop this, it's for the parenting. Still, it's not working. Okay, now try with this. While you are taking the output, you can, work with different settings. So, file, export, add to render queue. This is how you add for the render queue, and you have the render settings here. You can see, what is the output mode and everything. So, where do you want to output and what format you are going to output? So, session 2, photo edit effects, edit.avi. Okay, so I'm just saving it as avi, just in case you want to make any other setting changes here, you can change. Okay, and from what time to what time you want to render. For me, I will take the output for about 15 seconds. That's more than enough. And the base is 25. We'll see more about the render settings a little later in your classes. Okay, so this is the edit.avi, and you see the output size is 800 by 500. Okay, I can see the output size is 800 by 500. We'll see. You need to know the differences on how it is coming. When I press render, you see it's rendering. You can see the step by step output here also. So once the render is done, I want to open this edit.avi. So this is the extra area that we have. Okay, so that has to be cropped and brought in when you actually work in the same size. If both the photographs are of the same size, you will not face this problem. This photo and this photo should be of the same size. So while you're working with Photoshop, you will have to pay attention to that. Okay, you have to pay attention to the sizes, because this size and what you see there is different. the first one that we created and this one. And so I close this. Okay, so in this one, if you're placing your background, so this is the boy file. I'll close this. So here if you're placing the background, you should place the background for the same size and do it, then you will not have this size issue. Okay, first practice this, then we will continue with the other techniques. Okay, shoot your own photograph and try to bring up something like this. Okay, and the outputs that you see here, this is the full resolution. Okay, this is in the full resolution, you can see. This is from the Photoshop resolution. Okay, so arrange your layers like this, and you practice. Get back to me if you have any doubts. Thank you.